It is Monday Night Live as we come off the Memphis game and get ready for a trip to Houston. Get ready to hang out at Rice. This is going to come up on a Saturday night, but we have a lot to cover here on the Florida Atlantic Voice, presented by Robes Law Group, ROBES, RobesLawGroup.com, the presenting partner of the Florida Atlantic Voice, and we are glad that you are with us here on a Monday night. We, myself and Damon Arnett, the FAU basketball analyst on the Florida Atlantic Sports Network and the single-season scoring average leader in FAU basketball history. I'm contractually obligated to mention that every single time that Damon is within 5 feet of me. But we have our positional awards. We have a preview of Rice, and we're at Biergarten Boca Raton, right off of Federal in Boca. Easy to get to. It is just north of the Boca Resort. So every Monday night, 6 o'clock, first beer on me. That's the Ken LaVicka guarantee. First beer on me here at Biergarten Boca Raton. And I tell you what, how could you pass that up? There's no reason to pass that up.
I'm not passing it up now. I'm waiting on the waiter to come to come through now.
Yeah, already starting early on my my bank account. That's right. So we know that Florida Atlantic ends up falling to Memphis 55 to 26 on Saturday. And this was a game where FAU was within 5 with 10 minutes left to go. And I'll put it this way, and I mentioned it yesterday, Damon, in the day after edition of the Florida Atlantic Voice. By the way, wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple, whether it's some obscure Hungarian podcasting home, you can get it there wherever you get your podcast. So if I would have told you, or if I would have told any FAU fan that, hey, Memphis, a team that's an American Conference favorite, a team that is a group of 6 favorite to go to the college football playoff, if I would have told you Florida Atlantic is within 5 with 9 minutes left to go against Memphis, I have a feeling you'd feel pretty good about that, and FAU fans would feel pretty good about that.
No, without a doubt. I mean, watching the game, you had to be encouraged, especially through, I would ultimately say, 3/4 of the game.
Yes.
When you just looking at, we didn't look outmatched.
No, I mean, FAU outplayed Memphis in the first half.
Yes.
They just did. And so, again, I'm not trying to sit here and say things are all dandy in FAU football world, but I do think after a Shula Bowl loss, that was a step forward for FAU.
You could definitely tell they made use of their bye week.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That was a big thing. We said last week, we were trying to figure out with the coaching staff and everyone being new, how do you handle this adversity, dropping a game who going into it you should have beaten, knowing the history of it, and then having this extra week to prepare for a team that's getting votes to be in the top 25, Memphis. And after the early on success when we first came out early on in the year, I was glad to see that we rebounded. And that's the best way you could say it based on your expectations.
Right. So we're going to get to our positional awards here. We're going to talk about Florida Atlantic and the progress it made this week. Also, some of the warts that FAU still has and are going to have to be addressed because FAU, this is one of the things about the American Conference. You'll go from a spread offense, you'll go to a pro-style offense, you'll go to an air raid offense, and then you'll go to an option offense, a triple option with Army and Navy, a spread option like FAU is going to experience with Rice. It's all over the place. It's more common in college basketball to see within a conference different styles, unless you're the Big Ten, and most of the time it's just bully ball for the exception of a couple of teams. But there are very few conferences in American college football like the American where you have all of these different styles. You're going to go from Memphis with a quarterback who would hang in there. You've got a stout pro style to spread running game to now the option where the top rushing option, he doesn't have the most yards, but the top rushing option is the quarterback.
Yeah, and historically we've not done well with option teams.
It has been a struggle.
I remember last year.
I mean, last year, Army comes in here, and then UConn ran all over FAU.
But Army was good, though. I mean,
Army won the conference
did that
championship.
To everybody, for the most part.
And I'm going to reiterate this. Florida Atlantic last year started the conference season against Army. They went on to win the American. FAU started this conference season against Memphis, who's a favorite to go to the American. It would be much more beneficial, I think, for everybody's sanity. And I'm not trying to undercut and disrespect these programs, but it would feel a little bit better if, say, you started with a UAB or you started with a Rice, if
so
that's your first conference game.
Yeah,
just
well, that's what the FIU was for.
Well, and
that was the FIU game.
But it's different. It's a rivalry game. Emotions are heightened, that entire thing.
Yeah, well, I think that emotion, that bye week kind of would have rained on any kind of emotion, just that after effect of it. But leading into that, as you're saying, last week we had our keys to the game, and we talked about who we needed to stop or at least contain. How do we tell our listeners how we did with that, especially with the rushing?
Yeah, not great. It was not great. That
one guy, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was a problem. So Florida Atlantic ended up giving up over 200 rushing yards to him on the game, and so it was certainly it left a lot to be desired. There's no doubt. And again, you're going up against an option team here, but there were good things. There were some things to build off of. Let's get to our positional awards here.
Okay.
And by the way, on the docket, we've got the Rice preview. And because FAU is going to Houston, we are going to see where Houston places in the rankings of American Conference home cities, okay? Because I think there's a discussion to be made. We're going to see where Houston ranks within. And there's a couple of indicators that go into that. There's ease of travel through the city. There's entertainment options in the city, and there's the cuisine of the city of Houston as well. So we're gonna check all those boxes, and bars per block. Per block there in the city of Houston. All right. So
we should know that very well from the basketball schedule.
I agree. Not that Damon and I do anything like that on a regular basis during basketball season.
Well, you should know from the
No, don't pin this on me. Don't pin this on me. All right, positional awards. Let's go to the Chris Robinson, Charles Pierre Behind the Line Award. And you might be wondering, Damon, because you haven't heard this before, you haven't seen this before, why do you call it the Behind the Line Award? Why isn't there a quarterback award and a running back award? Well, it's because you never know if the quarterback is going to have a great game, and you never know if the running backs are going to have a great game. Out of multiple options, surely someone had a game worth recognizing. Okay, like after the Maryland game when Caden Veldkamp threw the 7 interceptions, or the team threw 7 interceptions, we weren't necessarily going to be giving away a quarterback of the game, okay? No. So Chris Robinson, the 2019 Conference USA champion quarterback of FAU, and then Charles Pierre, who was part of the vaunted 2007, 2008 FAU teams that went to bowl games and won them in the backfield, running back. He's part of this award name as well. All right, so the winner of this award, Caden Veldkamp, 31 of 50 through the air, 318 yards, had a rushing touchdown, and he suffered from a couple of drops from his wide receivers as well. So with Veldkamp, I think that performance is going to put him in a position to win. That performance, if you're obviously you'd like the passing accuracy a little bit better than what it was, but you'll take 31 of 50. And finally, for the first time this year against an FBS opponent, he was able to hit balls down the field. He was able to down the middle of the field. And so that had not happened yet. He had hit a couple of deep balls to the outside, but they had not been able to take advantage of the middle of the defense. They finally did that against Memphis.
You could tell through the strategy there was coaching adjustments and game planning going specifically for this game, and it was good to see him respond and make the accuracy throws that he had, and he did suffer for some drops.
By the way, jump in the chat if you're watching this live. Florida Atlantic Voice Monday Night Live here in Biergarten Boca Raton, and let me tell you, this is probably going to be significantly more entertaining for you from a football standpoint than Dolphins Jets tonight on Monday Night Football.
No,
Let this be your football consumption tonight, okay?
Yeah, well,
you're anti-Dolphins, which is wildly annoying.
Yeah,
because you're just being a contrarian. You're just being a contrarian.
I know the Dolphins don't appeal to me. I mean, especially the colors of the uniform and everything.
Well, they're wearing black tonight. Wearing black uniforms tonight. How about that?
They're trying to be cool now.
They're trying to be
cool now.
They go
from sea green and orange, and just that color. It's Come on now. Black, now they want to act tough.
Your Cowboys won last night, or tied last night. So don't take it out on me.
Did we lose?
No.
Okay, then.
For the ultimate competitor, you can't sit there.
Hey.
You're the most competitive person I know, and you can't say, a tie was okay.
We would have played it until someone came out of there definitively winning. But those are the rules of the game.
Okay.
Those are the rules of the game.
I can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything about it.
The John Rain Tight End Award. The John Rain Tight End Award. So John Rain was never a starting tight end at FAU until the final game of his FAU career, which was the 2019 Boca Raton Bowl. Harrison Bryant, who won the Mackey Award that year, sat out because he wanted to make sure he didn't get hurt before he got drafted. So John Rain took over, had 2 touchdowns in that game. He was exceptional. And then he transferred to Northwestern once Lane Kiffin went to Ole Miss. So the John Rain Tight End Award, and we were 3, Damon, 3 weeks without a tight end award winner because, well, the tight ends didn't produce anything, but that changed on Saturday.
And it's no wonder why there were more catches over the middle.
The tight end was able to get himself open. And Michael Kirch, the only contribution he made catching the ball was on 1 possession, but it was key. He had 2 catches, 14 yards on the game, but on FAU's touchdown drive in the second quarter, that's what gave FAU the 13-10 lead that they wouldn't relinquish until mere seconds before halftime. He had a 9-yard catch on a 3rd and 5 to move the chains. And then on 4th and 2, coming out of a timeout, it was Veldkamp sidearming it to Kirch at the sticks on the right-hand side. Got all the way down to the Memphis 14, a 4th down and 2 conversion. And we know that 4th down conversions have been a little bit difficult to come by for FAU. It was a well-designed play, but the execution was there. Kirch, nice soft hands. He's had some drop problems this year. He was more than effective for Florida Atlantic, especially on that 1 possession.
Do you know what we are on 4th down conversions this
year? I do, actually.
Funny
we are now on the season 11 of 21 on 4th down. FAU still has the most 4th down conversion attempts in the entire country, but they were able to bump up the percentage of completion a little bit.
Okay, I want to put your coach's hat on.
Oh, God, that's not a good idea.
You're coaching the team that's 11 for 21 on 4th down.
Yep.
A week Saturday, we're in 4th and 3 at the 40-yard line going in. What are you doing?
So I'm going for it. And this is why. Zach Kitley.
With that record, with that completion.
Yes, because when it's 4th and 3 and below, and Zach Kitley said this last week, when it's 4th and 3 and below, it just comes down to execution, right? It's short yardage situation. When you're not getting 6 inches like the Shula Bowl, when you're not getting 1 yard like the opener against Maryland on the first possession, that's execution. Hit your block. Make sure that you're clearing space, and let's complete that. Make sure the offensive line's getting a little bit of push. That has nothing to do with a play call and has everything to do with just getting it right. And the only 4th downs that FAU did not convert in this game are once Memphis started to pull away and FAU had to throw with 4th and long to try and move the chains. But it probably wasn't going to be able to pull FAU back in the game.
So you're a risky going. You're a gambler as a coach.
I'm a gambler only because I know how Zach Kitley coaches. And he was not shy about saying, this is how I coach. This is how we're going to operate. And what I'll say, too, I get this question a lot, whether it's on this podcast or whether it's in passing. Ken, what do you think of the play calling? Okay. Here's a disclaimer. As the play-by-play voice of Florida Atlantic, I would never. And I mean never, ever, because I appreciate the paychecks I get. I like to have some money in the bank. I will never say,
so therefore,
I would never say, oh, man, that play calling, I don't know if that was a good idea. That's not happening. What I will say is if you reach out to us and you give us specifics, like, hey, what would you do in this situation where it's 4th and 3, you're at your own 47-yard line, but there's this amount of time left or it's this quarter, how would you handle that? I'll try and put you in the mind of Zach Kitley and why he does what he does. How about that? That's your
story. You're sticking to it.
Just don't ask me, what do you think of the play calling? Because I'm going to tell you, Zach Kitley is doing everything he said he was going to do, and you were excited about it in the offseason.
That's true. That's true. I mean, when you get, and you kind of respect it as a coach, when you get up there and say you're going to coach a certain way, and then you go out and
he didn't lie to you. He did not lie to you.
No, and that's kind of refreshing. And I don't know you get a lot of that coach talk when they first take over a program. They stand behind the podium all nice.
Well, a lot of them keep that coach talk up 3, 4, 5 years into their tenure.
Exactly. And you have to wait a whole summer almost to see if they're really about their business, like they said.
Yep.
And he appears to be everything he said he was in his press conference.
Without question. The William Dukes Wide Receiver Award. William Dukes, part of the Carl Pelini and Charlie Partridge era wide receiver. He's the 5th leading wide receiver in FAU football history, by the way. This goes to Easton Messer. 9 catches, 131 yards. He's the top target. He's the receiving leader as expected for FAU. Him and his boy, Caden Veltkamp, they just have a really good connection on the field. 2 big catches on FAU's first scoring drive, and I'm telling you, Damon, he was accordioned on both. I mean,
he got lit up.
He got lit up. He got spine bent, and he just popped right back up. He is the quintessential slot receiver who can wear all hats. You can line him up as a slot. He can go in motion. He can be a part of a jet sweep. He can go. He had a 50-yard post route reception in this game as well. But then he'll also line up in the option. He'll run the ball for you. He'll sit in the middle of the defense, and he is not afraid to get popped. And that's exactly what he did. He is so tough. He's tough as hell, man. I love that guy.
Let me ask you this: with their performance, and I can honestly say I'm going to give them a asterisk next to that FIU game because of the lightning and the delay and all that kind of stuff.
Zach Kitley would hate that.
I know it, but what can he do? And so I'm gonna give him a pass on that. But on the team, but I'm seeing progress.
Yeah,
from the first week 1, because if you look at Maryland when we first went there, if you look at the score box, it just flipped. The game got out of control early.
Yeah.
So now we got out of control late, and what does that tell me in any sport is that you got to be able to maintain and play at this level for 4 quarters. They let the rope go right in somewhere early in their 4th quarter.
I know exactly when it happened. 9 minutes left to go, and it all occurred, and we know this by now. FAU gets within 5 after the forced fumble, the sack, and the forced fumble. FAU recovers. They go down. They get back within 5 when things looked like it was slipping away, and then 2 plays into Memphis's ensuing drive, 73-yard touchdown, and it was a wrap after that.
It almost feels like Memphis just said, okay, now we're about to put some distance between us. And I get that. And
they're just further along.
Yes, they are further along. But I was so proud of the program with the game there, with all their eyes on it, being the first conference matchup. Yeah. And they showed well overall. But with that being said, as you go into your defensive awards, is there many defenders out there giving up 50-something points?
So FAU, though, got hit by a 90-yard touchdown run and that 73-yard passing touchdown, and those hurt. You can't give up one of those, let alone 2 of them, okay? So the 90-yard touchdown run happened on a 3rd and 1 with Memphis pinned all the way back at its 10-yard line, and you're down 1 at that point, okay? So that stuff hurts, and it was inopportune. The timing was awful on those. Let's get to the defense, like Damon was saying. Brandon Bryant Defensive Line Award, by the way. Brandon Bryant still in the area and a very successful children's author now, which is one of the most interesting career arcs. Went from FAU to NFL to children's author now, still based down here in South Florida. We're going to get him on the pod here at some point, because he's super interesting. He's super fun to talk to, and I think he's still got it. He's a massive human being.
How hard can it be to write a children's book?
I mean, to be a successful children's author is tough.
Really?
Trust me when I tell you, as someone who raised 2 little girls, similar age, it was easy for them to be like, yeah, I'm not interested. See you later. Time to hit up the tablet.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting
screen time,
this effort and energy, but I'm just wondering, because I've read to my kids growing up too, and it was like 6 words on every page.
Okay, well, you can tell that to Brandon Bryant and disparage his career, his post FAU career when he comes on the pod, okay?
And I just want to see the art in it is all.
All right. Brandon Bryant Defensive Line Award, Eric Brantley had 4 tackles. He had a half a sack. Him and Batiste were in together on the first sack of the game. FAU came into this game, Damon, only 2 sacks on the season. 2, count them, 2 in the first 2 games of the season. They exceeded that in 1 game. Had 3 total sacks, including the violent sack from Leon Hart that knocked the ball free, and it got FAU back into the game ultimately. That was encouraging. That was better. There was consistent red in the backfield for FAU along that defensive front, which had not happened at all in any shape or form so far throughout the course of the season. And that brings us to the Corey Henry Linebacker Award, not a children's author. Leon Hart, who had a sack and that forced fumble we mentioned a couple of times, 11 total tackles, and he forced the first true defensive takeaway of the season for FAU. The only other FAU takeaway on the year was the Shula Bowl where the quarterback had the ball snapped between his legs and FAU recovered. That's not a legitimate takeaway.
So how many games we played?
We have played 4.
So
2 takeaways.
Okay. Well, really 1 is what you're saying.
Well, 1 legitimately. Yeah.
So really 1.
But FAU is still at the bottom of the nation in turnover margin, -8, because they had a fumbled kickoff return when the game was well done at that point.
You know what? I'm not in the locker rooms there, but I bet they're preaching takeaways.
Oh, they are. Zach Kittley absolutely is.
They got to be preaching takeaways to see that stat because you need that to win, especially knock off a giant.
Yep. I mean, Zach Kittley said we're going to have trouble winning a game the rest of the year if we continue to be the worst team in the nation in turnover margin. So that continues. About Leon Hart, too. So at the end of the game, FAU was racking up personal fouls.
Right.
And on the game broadcast, I mean, I was openly frustrated about it. Like, I'm not going to mince words with what I'm seeing. Yes, I'm the voice of FAU, but that also means that part of my responsibility is to not sugarcoat things. And when guys are hitting opponents late, or guys are taking part in ridiculous extracurriculars or sloppy plays that lead to 15 yards, I'm not going to say, oh, FAU fans, they're just trying real hard. It's okay. The effort's there. They're just trying to do their best, gee willikers. No, that's not going to happen. And Leon Hart, after FAU had a late hit penalty, moments after, what I've heard, I didn't see it, but he picked up a shoe from the opponent and threw it down the field.
Who did that before?
Florida against LSU a couple of years ago that lost the game for him. Now, it didn't lose the game for FAU, but Leon Hart has emerged as FAU's most effective linebacker, okay? And because he was thrown out of the game for that, he didn't get a personal foul and get warned. It wasn't his second personal foul, and so he got ejected. He flat out just got ejected for this game, which means
he misses the next game.
He misses the first half of the next game against a team in Rice that is one of the best rushing teams in America, where FAU has struggled, and now you don't have Leon Hart for the first 2 quarters. So that's what I'm saying is
you got
Leon Hart, and especially when you're a player like Leon Hart, you have to be on the field for your team to win, and it comes off selfish when things like that happen.
So for throwing a shoe, you get thrown out the game.
Well, yeah.
Did he throw it at someone?
I don't know, but all I've heard from people on the field is that there was an airborne shoe that came from Leon Hart.
That seems kind of petty, though. No, just throwing a shoe.
Well, it's ridiculous. There's no need for it.
No, I get that part of it, but I just mean the penalty of getting ejected.
I'm
just saying. I don't know if the punishment fit the crime.
Yeah,
but now if he threw it at someone, I guess you can consider that a punch and all
that
kind of
stuff.
But
I think part of the problem was FAU had racked up 3 personal fouls in about a minute span at that point. And so the officials are, at that point, they're saying, man, these guys are starting to get out of control. We need to send a message. And that's what happened.
Now, if he threw a pair of shoes.
So you get a personal foul for each shoe?
Yeah. I don't know. Now you go there with it. But I just think it was a little excessive for them throwing a shoe.
Well, it was excessive.
He threw it to the person whose shoe.
My argument is it's excessive. He threw a shoe. You know, like you didn't have to go to that point. Let's go to the Marcus Bartels Defensive Back Award. Dylan Williams, safety, 7 tackles, 5 solo. He was all over the place. And then the Lucky Whitehead Special Teams Award. Logan Lupo had 3 punts. He had a 55-yarder in this game. In 3 punts, he averaged 53 yards per punt. That's excellent. And he pinned Memphis inside the 1-yard line in the 3rd quarter. And so that's the possession, unfortunately, where Memphis banged off the 90-yard touchdown run.
I'm happy for Lucky getting the Lucky Award for our punter, but I don't want him getting that award because that means you're out there, and if that's the,
Well, I will say
punter
but go back to what I was talking about with the Ken. What do you think of the play calling of Zach Kittley? And again, reminder, I'm not answering that question. Right. It's a trap, and I like being employed. Okay.
It sounded like he was but he was effective as you read it.
Yeah, but he only punted 3 times. It's not like so the fans who are asking me, what did you think of the play calling? What they're referring to largely is the 4th down. Do you go for it or do you punt? And so it sounds like to me, the FAU fans bringing that up to me would like to see Logan Lupo more than they're seeing him.
Yeah, you open up that can of worms. The
football Pandora's box. That's right.
Sure.
Would you rather see more Logan Lupo or less Logan Lupo? Okay, that's the great football quandary here.
Well, what would you do, Coach?
Oh, don't. Again, I'm not falling into your trap. I'm not falling into your trap.
I'm going to get you.
Florida Atlantic Voice presented by Robes Law Group, ROBES, robeslawgroup.com. Personal injury lawyers. Remember, Robes Law Group. Download the app. It is the Robes Law Group Shield. Download the app in case you have any sort of personal injury matters or you need guidance after some sort of accident, automobile accident, motorcycle accident, something like that. You are going to have that app at your disposal, and it is going to help you follow the next steps because there are a lot of people in this area, especially that want to take advantage of you. If you're in an accident, that's where Robes comes in. Robes Law Group, personal injury lawyers, the Robes Law Group Shield. And if you sign up on the app, you have a chance to win a dash cam right here, courtesy of the Florida Atlantic Voice.
Or if you get hit by a shoe.
Well, I don't know if they cover shoes, but we'll ask. We'll ask shoe contact if that will qualify.
I'm sure they'll take care of them.
If there's enough of an injury, surely
they got you.
The good folks at Robes Law Group, ROBES, robeslawgroup.com, but that Robes Law Group Shield, get it downloaded and make sure that it is on your phone. You want to talk about Rice a little bit?
Let's talk about Rice a little bit. There's really, in my opinion, I'm not going to say there's not much to talk about, but you know what you're getting with these triple option teams.
So this is a spread option, and so with this rush defense, FAU, the defense is allowing 174 rushing yards a game. Okay, That's not great. Now, against FBS teams, they gave up 112 to Maryland, 224 to Memphis, or 224 to FIU and 291 to Memphis. So that is steadily increasing. That's going to be an issue, right? That's not sustainable. So forget FAMU for a moment. Florida Atlantic is giving up 209 rushing yards a game against FBS opponents. So that has to improve. Now, here's the problem. Rice is tied for 20th in the nation in rushing. So you see where that would present quite the storyline here.
Yeah, and on one hand, because they're good rushing, you can honestly say that playing Memphis with their dominant running back can kind of prepare them, but it really doesn't, because when Memphis is in their offense, one guy is getting the rock.
Yeah.
When you're running that triple option, it's kind of like one of them, to our New York people, that street game where where's the P under the shell thing where they just
I have no idea.
Well, they play it on the streets of New York.
Okay.
Well, I've seen TV, so
right.
But you got to find out who has the ball with all the traffic and all the different movements going, and that is a lot harder to know who even has the rock, as opposed to when you're playing against Memphis. There's only one guy back there, and he's getting it.
Well, and Sean Sutton for Memphis is who beat up Arkansas, but it was Greg DeWosier for Memphis that beat up FAU. They have two very quality running backs, whereas Rice, they have quality rushers as any spread option offense would, but their quarterback is the one that is really the trigger for all of that.
And you know what? That makes it even harder.
Yeah.
Because he's the one with the ball trying to act like he's not going to give it. Then he pulls it and keeps it and takes it around, and just making sure that he's just visually seeing where the defense is breaking down at. And this is one of those defensive line principle, stay in your lane type of games.
Right. You need to be, like we've talked about, discipline and all the personal fouls. By the way, up to this point now in the season against 3 FBS opponents, Florida Atlantic has 15 personal fouls and or pass interference spot fouls. That is excessive. So this is where discipline has to show up, or it's going to be a long night there in Houston. Speaking of the point of the rushing game, where Rice is at 221 yards a game, Quentin Jackson, their running back, he's the leading rusher. It's just over 70 yards a game. So that tells you in that spread option how many different rushers are getting involved, and the quarterback is wanting to tuck and run. He has double-digit carries every single game this season. So that matters. But he had negative 13 rushing yards against Louisiana. He had 33 rushing yards against Houston. He had 71 at Charlotte. He had 33 at Navy. You can contain him if you stay disciplined. Now, the game against Navy is the first time all year where he threw for over 100 yards. He is not a passing threat unless FAU makes him a passing threat.
And I'll tell you what else is going to be key with that triple option. Your perimeter defenders have got to tackle well. Your corners, your outside linebackers. And in these kind of games, safeties are just, you can't rush them up too much or too consistently, because that's when that 170-yard passing game might reoccur, because that's what they're trying to do, is just bring you in just to throw over top of you. And I think that's why that discipline is so important and such a key, that if everybody can stay in their lane and be disciplined with their spot, you allow people to stay in their natural positions.
FAU, speaking, again, going back to the discipline, Rice is the worst passing offense in the United States of America. This is the worst passing offense in the country in this spread option. So if you're FAU and Chase Jenkins starts beating your defensive backs, it's a significant problem.
Yeah, it is, and you just kind of did another reverse jinx. You say they're the worst, and now they're going to come out and throw for 300. Hey, we heard Ken say they were the worst.
I will, if that happens, I will not get on the team plane. I will stay in Houston. I will live in Houston for the rest of my days. I will just plant myself there, and I'll have to explain it to my family, okay? FAU's pass offense. I know that a lot of fans are frustrated with 1 and 3.
Right.
Florida Atlantic, for the first time that I can remember, is the 8th best passing offense in the entire sport. Number 8, not number 8 in the AAC, not number 8 in the Southeast, but number 8 in the entire sport of college football. They have the 8th best passing offense at over 325 yards a game.
And that goes back to what the coach said when he got here. We're going to sling it around.
And they've been slinging it around.
And they brought the quarterback here to do that.
Yep. And so what Rice would counter with is, our pass defense is 30th in the country. That's really good, right? Well, here is the qualifier to that. FAU, 8th best passing offense in the country against the stubborn 30th best pass defense in the country. Rice played the 85th best passing offense in Houston. Rice played the 45th best pass offense in Charlotte. They played the 7th worst pass offense, Navy, and the 4th worst pass offense in the country, Louisiana. So they've racked up the 30th best pass defense in the country, playing against some of the worst passing offenses in the sport.
So what you're saying
a little bit misleading.
So what you're saying is Rice is not ready for the smoke we bringing?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. That's the plan. From your mouth to football God's ears. That's the plan.
And you know what makes this kind of game so much intriguing about execution and discipline on both sides of the ball? When you allow the triple option team to be effective, forget what the score is or how well they're getting in the end zone. It's that time of possession.
Right.
And that time of possession starts to wear on you offensively, where don't be down 2 or 3 points, because you may only have 1 or 2 more possessions to try to make, and then you start to press. Well, you have a tendency to press. And that's why discipline is going to be important on the offensive side of the ball as well.
FAU, and I know we've talked a lot about penalties, and I don't want to keep belaboring the point, but again, it matters. FAU 104th in the nation in penalties per game. If you're in the triple digits there, and Zach Kitley would agree, that is a recipe for failure.
What are we ranked?
104th in the nation in penalties per game, up around 8. Now, if you're talking FBS opponents, that balloons to 9.3 penalties a game. That would be 3rd worst in the nation if we're just counting those 3 FBS opponents.
So we got some cleaning up to do.
A ton of cleaning up to do, not to mention that FAU has had back-to-back games of double-digit penalties.
So with that said, how would you handle the player that threw the shoe?
Well, he's going to face his punishment already in the first half, and then because he's Leon Hart, I would say lesson learned, go out there in the second half. We need you. Does that make me a bad head coach?
No.
Am I preaching accountability if I say, I just don't get the point of keeping him out still? He's already being suspended for a half.
No, I agree. But in this situation where you have so much, and you got to make it an emphasis on stuff like that, because that kind of play and losing your control can be contagious, especially when you're not winning.
Sure.
Okay. And so that's why I would love to see, I wouldn't have him miss any more game time. No.
Yeah.
But he would be running till his tongue's out.
Part of the reason I didn't see whatever happened with Leon Hart from our vantage point, you've been in our broadcast booth at the stadium. So early in the year when it's hot and it's humid, and you know those big windows we look out of, right?
Right.
Those fog up.
Yeah.
And you're literally Like, I'm always adjusting. There are times where I'm standing on a chair in the broadcast booth and the top part of the window opens and I'm literally peeking over the top of the open window to see what's going on. So my vantage point was clouded literally. In that spot. We have purchased a squeegee. Now, what I'm going to say too, if you're a local business in the Boca Raton or South Florida area and you want to put a sponsor, you want to promote your business on this squeegee that we have in the broadcast booth, this is as organic a marketing opportunity as you're going to get. So go ahead and I don't want to give my email out over this.
Just find you in the booth. Just come up to you.
Yeah. Just come up to the 6th floor. Find me in the booth. Invade my personal space.
Yeah, exactly.
It's totally good.
Just crash.
Yeah.
You know where he's at. Just go find him.
Yeah, just go find me. All right. So the red zone is going to be key in this one as well. Rice has had opponents come into the red zone 9 times this year. They've given up points on all those trips, including 5 touchdowns. More than 50% of the red zone trips for the opponent have ended up in the end zone.
So what you're saying is we just need to get to the 20.
Get to the end. Get to the red zone. Get to the red zone. So here's the thing, though. Getting to the red zone has been a problem because I mentioned 9 times. Rice is one of only 6 teams in the bottom 50 in red zone conversion defense who have conceded only single-digit red zone attempts. So, yes, opponents succeed when they get there, but it's been rare that they get there. So Florida Atlantic's, you're probably going to cash in once you get there, but it's what happens from the 20 to the 20 that matters more than necessarily getting there.
Well, the way we've been slinging the ball here recently, I feel good about us having frequent trips in the red zone.
Yep. So FAU is tied for 75th in the nation in red zone attempts. So that if you can improve on that, then you're going to put yourself in a good spot. FAU was perfect last game in the red zone against Memphis. They did have to settle for 3 field goals. And then there's the death quarter. Okay. And now in college basketball, you and I have witnessed plenty of death halves. Okay. And a death half is like you're outscored 52 to 30 or 55 to 37. That's a death half. FAU every game this year against FBS opponents has suffered a death quarter. 24-0 outscored second quarter Maryland. Okay. FIU outscored 22-0 in the third quarter. And against Memphis, FAU outscored 31-7 in the fourth quarter. So FAU fixed its third quarter problems, only lost that 7-3 because at one point in that third quarter, FAU was being outscored 41-0 in the third quarter every single game this season. They kicked a field goal. They were able to break through, but 31-7 in the fourth quarter. Can't have the death quarter anymore. Cannot. That's got to end. That's done. If you're going to have a death quarter, it needs to be like 14-7, 17-7 at worst, but it cannot be 22-0, 24-0, or 31-7.
A lot of times when that happens as a team consecutively, and you start to think it's a pattern, that's focus, lack of discipline, in terms of just losing their mind from time to time at doing a game, and you can't. And that's part of youth and gelling and coming together as well.
By the way, Robes Law Group, personal injury lawyers, presenting sponsor of the Florida Atlantic Voice. I got word that they're willing to donate as many squeegees as our broadcast booth requires. They do it all. They work. Robes. And see, here's the thing. The Robes Law Group squeegee is about to become a major presence on the Florida Atlantic Sports Network.
Look at you. You done got your windows wiped off.
That's right. It's perfect. It's a brotherhood, sisterhood
but
here.
You know how many times you got to wipe their window, huh?
A lot. Yeah. Now what I'll say is my friend John at Robes, I'm sure that we will have a minimum amount of times we need to squeegee the windows to make sure that, that's good business.
You might need to get you someone up there to do the windows like the guys, the people do at the red lights.
with the spray, the Windex,
with the Windex and the spray
and the rag,
and the rag. Just have a guy. And a bucket.
They do the best job, in my experience. They do the best job of window washing than if you go to like a car washing place. A little blue collar work never hurt anybody. No. In case you're wondering, FAU leads or Rice leads FAU 3-2 all time in this series. I want to revisit just because it's burned into the subconscious of my brain. 3 different instances of FAU and Rice. 2 of them were a nightmare. 1 was awesome. Okay. So in 2013, and this is one of the, like, you know me, I get emotional, right?
Okay.
I'm not playing, but you've seen me. Losses get to me.
They get to you.
They get to me. I don't like it. I have great passion for FAU. Again, I've never gotten a degree from Florida Atlantic, never attended a class at FAU, but I'm more of an alum to Florida Atlantic than I am the school I actually graduated from, Valparaiso University in Northwest Indiana. And little known fact, I still have not gotten my physical diploma from Valpo, and I graduated in 2006 because on principle, I never paid a parking ticket I didn't deserve.
There you go.
So I've never physically received my diploma from Valpo.
And for that, you feel like you need to change your allegiance?
Yeah, and also FAU pays me. All right.
Oh, well, yeah.
So
we got better colors than Valpo. What are the colors? Gold?
Oh, they're brown and gold. Yeah, it's pretty rough. So Rice in 2013, FAU led 14-6 with 4:24 left. FAU up 14-6 with a backup quarterback, Greg Hankerson, starting in that game. And Rice started burning timeouts because FAU was eating up clock. They called their first. FAU comes out onto the field. And again, there's 4:24 left. You're up 8 in a game where Rice had not moved the football at all. Not a singular time. On 3rd down out of the timeout, Greg Hankerson, the backup quarterback, sacked, fumbles. Rice scoops it up, 7-yard touchdown run. So suddenly, 14-6 has turned into 14-12. 2-point conversion, no good. Okay? On the next possession, FAU gets the ball. Greg Hankerson, first play, interception, picked off. It's returned to the 24, but Rice committed a personal foul, so you move it back to the 41-yard line. What does FAU do on the play from the 41, the first one from Rice? Personal foul. That moves Rice up to the 20-yard line. What happens after that? 20-yard touchdown. Rice leads in a matter of 35 seconds. All of that took 35 seconds in FAU trails.
That sounds like you was at an FAU game.
In the Carl Pelini era? Yes, that sounds like the Carl Pelini era. So then FAU gets the ball back, trailing for the first time. 3 plays, Greg Hankerson interception. And that was the game right there. So, I mean, just a total meltdown. And so, as you can imagine, I did not say a single solitary word from Rice Stadium on the bus all the way to the airport to get on the plane. I didn't say a thing. I mean, it was completely upsetting for me, okay? Then some FAU fans, including here at Biergarten Boca Raton, we thank you for coming out here, 6 o'clock, Monday Night Live here at Biergarten Boca Raton. You may remember in 2014, a game here in Boca Raton where FAU went on top of Rice 26-14 with 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Right after FAU scored the touchdown, what happens? Lightning bolt. That turned into an hour-and-a-half weather delay with FAU all the momentum, just went up 12, largest lead of the game, and everybody has to go to the locker room, okay? So an hour and a half later, FAU comes back out for the 2-point conversion to go up 14. They don't get it. And then suddenly Rice, who had fleeting moments of offense in this game, they come out of the locker room. I don't know what happened in that weather delay, and they can't stop moving the ball. Drefu Jackson went from just a high school level quarterback in that 4th quarter to looking like prime Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's running all over the place. He's throwing all over the place. Rice had a 6-play touchdown drive, a 10-play touchdown drive, and ended up knocking off FAU 27-6. The entire game changed out of that weather delay. And at that point, after the loss to Rice the year before, I was ready to resort to witchcraft to try and see if there was any way where FAU could turn around its football luck.
It sounds like you need a win.
Desperately need a win. Now,
you need a win.
Here's a positive in the Rice series. Okay. Florida Atlantic in 2016 went to Rice. Bowl eligibility was already washed up. Okay. FAU goes to Rice, wins 42-25, and guess who had a 50-yard touchdown run in that game? Devin Motor Singletary. This was his coming out party. And then we all know what happened the very next year. He sets the Conference USA record for rushing yards. FAU goes on to win the Conference USA title.
Well, there you just figured out how to do it. Go get you some more NFL players.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
no
it.
problem.
Yeah, just go get you some more NFL players.
I mean, you're 100% right.
And let's go.
You're 100% right about that.
I need you to go in that locker room, Ken, and let them feel your passion for this and be the motivating speech, because trust me, they'll go out there. It won't be what's that? Win one for the Gipper. It'll be win one for Kenner.
Win one for the Kenner.
Win one for the Kenner.
Now, could you imagine me walking in there, all 5'7" and 130 pounds of me,
That's what makes it so sweet,
slamming my fist into lockers and saying, "Have pride for the school, sing the fight song."
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you ever have to learn the fight song, by the way, your time at FAU, your 3 years of college basketball at FAU?
This may sound bad, but I didn't know we had one. I mean,
it was a different time.
Yeah, I didn't know we had one. I mean, I knew there was an owl in the uniform and all that kind of stuff.
That's a good start.
Yeah, I knew that much. But the fight song, because the tradition was never at the time to go sing it at the end.
Yeah.
There wasn't any newcomer initiations where you had to get up in front of everyone and sing it.
Hey, we needed to field a team, so there you go.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side, and I know you were close with Howard Schnellenberger. You had a good relationship with Howard Schnellenberger when Howard Schnellenberger was bringing tree stumps into the cafeteria and giving literal stump speeches to students before the football team even came about, how exciting it was going to be when FAU had a football team. You know that he absolutely preached the fight song. You weren't stepping on the field at FAU unless you knew the fight song by heart.
Howard, he tried to bring that whole culture back and doing things,
having
traditional
pride.
things,
having pride.
And I do remember him trying to get that fight song going, and he tried to change it. As a matter of fact,
did he really?
He tried to change. I was never tried to change it. I guess it didn't ring.
I just love it, and I know that I bring this up all the time, but the best Howard, or one of the best Howard things, and I was very lucky that me at age 24 had the chance to work a couple of years with Howard Schnellenberger, and they were the easiest coaches shows of all time, because in an hour span, all I had to do was ask 2 questions, and then he would take it the rest of the way. I mean, I've never earned easier money than the coaches shows with Howard Schnellenberger, but one of my favorite things is him multiple times before seasons would start. Practice would wrap up in training camp, and he would occasionally practice the fight song with the team, and there are freshmen who didn't bother to look at it, and he would yell at them, "Sing the fight song, damn it." It's just perfect.
Howard was about building and creating a culture here, and that's what he was all about, and that's really where it starts. I guess if you don't know what your fight song is, then I don't know how much culture you plan on having. You can't start there.
Well, I mean, you're living
proof. I guess I should learn it.
You're living proof, right? Exactly.
I'll learn it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back next week and I'm gonna sing this fight song.
That's a promise?
That is a promise.
All right, Monday Night Live, next Monday, 6 o'clock, Biergarten Boca Raton. Hopefully we're giving out positional awards for a win at Rice, but equally as important is going to be Damon Arnett singing the fight song.
I will sing the fight song.
Oh, this is phenomenal. I am so pleased about this. By the way, MG8R says, if only FAU football was a hockey team, it would be 3 periods and we'd be fine.
That is true.
I mean, I can't even argue that, actually. And a reminder, Zach Kitley and I coach a show Thursday night on the Florida Atlantic flagship Fox Sports 640, and I have the game for you on Saturday night from Houston, Rice Stadium, FAU and Rice for the 6th time, all time. Before we wrap up, you and I we're connoisseurs of travel. You are the single greatest flight finder of any human being that I've ever known. You wait till the last minute to book flights. You track flights from their destinations like 5 stops before you actually get on that aircraft to go which you're going.
I do.
I've never, it was insane. When we were at the Charleston Classic, you and I went to a bar near the hotel after FAU had, because I had to get back to do a football game, and you were going back because there was a day between FAU playing in the second game against Drake and then them playing in the 4th place game. So you went back and you're showing me that, I
told you your flight was delayed.
You're the one who told me my flight was delayed 3 different cities before it actually was going to get to Charleston to fly me out. And then you were telling me about a flight that you were going to end up taking the following weekend, and you were falling in about 18 cities before it got there. I mean, it was ridiculous. And again, you wait until like 5 minutes before the flight's going to leave, and then you buy flights for like $7. It's incredible. It is absolutely. You're extremely brave with that. But so we're connoisseurs of travel, and actually, I'm not. By extension, because I'm hanging out with you, I become a connoisseur of travel. But if there's one thing we also know, we know how to hang out in cities where FAU has traveled to, especially with college basketball, whether it's New Orleans, where we went to Auntie's house, and she made the single best crab boil
she was
of all
just
time.
In town.
Yeah, that's what I heard. By the way, happy belated birthday, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So whether it is Charlotte, whether it is any of these cities, we're going to find somewhere to sit down, eat, have a couple drinks, and just hang out, okay? Houston.
Okay.
Houston, where we're headed this weekend. Of all of the American Conference cities, okay, where would you put it? Because don't forget, you have New Orleans involved here. Memphis, which gets a bad rap, but I love Memphis. I think Memphis is super cool. Damon's reaction tells me he doesn't agree with me
from Memphis
about
in the
Memphis.
crowd. I hope not. I'm sorry.
Sorry to you, Memphis.
But I know why you came to Boca.
Yeah. You also have you've been to Greenville, North Carolina, East Carolina. That's not one of the best cities in the American Conference.
That is a fast food chain city right there. That's just like, don't even look for it.
Now, San Antonio, where UTSA is. I'm a big fan of San Antonio. North Texas, Denton, Texas, far and away the worst American Conference city
what is?
In the state of Texas.
Which one?
Denton. Dallas is fine.
Okay.
But Denton, not so much.
Okay, no,
not great.
There's nothing in Denton.
I like Birmingham. Birmingham, Alabama.
UAB, Birmingham. So you want to rank Houston?
I want to see where Houston falls in here, okay? Because I do think it's important for people to understand where these American Conference teams are coming from.
Well, right now, New Orleans has got to be one.
You think New Orleans is one?
No one's knocked New Orleans.
Do you think that there's a close second in the conference?
Well, there's not many. I mean, we all mostly Southern type of schools that we're going to.
Yeah.
It's repetitive almost. It's just who does it better.
Okay.
For instance, Memphis has barbecue, and so does Texas.
Right.
Birmingham has good barbecue. So everyone is just trying to specialize and be known for something. Just who does it better. And I like Houston. I would put Houston second.
Yeah, Houston's definitely number 2. Okay.
Because you can also get your nice steak.
You can, but also, and I'll bring up the what should be the preferred cuisine, which I'll be dining upon. By the way, Wichita, no.
No.
Tulsa, no. Now Philly,
no.
That was
hard. No.
All right.
You're gonna say cheesesteak. You're gonna say the sandwich.
Oh yeah, cheesesteak. I'll say this: cheesesteaks and Cincinnati Skyline chili are the two most overrated regional culinary fairs in the United States of America.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheesesteaks and Cincinnati Skyline chili.
I think I would take one of them hot dog carts in the city off the corner of New York before I would care about a.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tampa. No. I mean Tampa, and they have fake Cuban sandwiches. They say they invented them, but they put salami on them, which automatically disqualifies the entire thing.
For the Cuban sandwich?
They take credit for the Cuban sandwich, and that's absolute nonsense.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and then you've got Annapolis, Maryland, where Navy is. It's cool. It's fine.
It's more of this.
And then West Point, Army. So Houston's number 2. What about Tex-Mex? Mexican food. That's Houston is more Tex-Mex, Mexican food than it is barbecue.
Well, the entire state is Tex-Mex.
I don't know
about that. The entire state of Texas is Tex-Mex.
I do miss going to UTEP, El Paso, because that was the best food.
And that's on the other side. I'm telling you, the entire state is Tex-Mex.
All right. But
Texas.
And one more unpopular opinion that people have yelled at me about before we let this go. You mentioned barbecue. Birmingham is up there in terms of barbecue. Dallas is up there in terms of barbecue. Houston, you can get some decent barbecue. But the best barbecue in the entire American Conference comes out of North Carolina. Vinegar-based barbecue is superior to molasses-based barbecue.
Who do we have in North Carolina?
East Carolina.
East Carolina.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So when we go, do we go there this year?
Yeah.
You know the schedule.
Are you offended by that? I thought you'd be offended by that because people have yelled at me before.
I'm from Texas, and I want to have the best barbecue coming out of Texas.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to go to East Carolina and try this. What'd you say? Vinegar-based barbecue?
Vinegar-based barbecue. That's right.
Okay.
By the way, Robbie LaStella messages in, my partner on the day after, Sundays after games, Florida Atlantic Voice. The best breakfast spot of the American, located close to Rice. Anybody that goes has to try the Breakfast Club with a K. Memphis has the second best breakfast, so I'm going to keep that in mind.
So he's a breakfast guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We were giving away a dash cam. I want to see if we're going to give it away tonight. And again, download the Robes Law Group app, the Robes Law Group Shield, for your chance to register and to give away this dash cam right here at Biergarten in Boca Raton. So, and a reminder that it's FAU and it's Rice. On Saturday, I'll be on the call. John, do you want to give away the dash cam tonight, or are we gonna wait on it? Let's give it away tonight. If you want to give it away tonight, let's see. Okay, we have a dash cam here, and so all right. So let's see here. Perfect. Let's see. Leslie Garrett. There we go. Leslie has won a dash cam courtesy of Robes Law Group, ROBES, robeslawgroup.com. So Leslie is the winner of the dash cam, and again, we thank Robes Law Group. So go ahead, get that in your automobile, and we'll give that to Leslie, and we'll congratulations, excellent. Do you have a dash cam, Damon?
No, I do not have a dash
Yeah,
cam.
and they recommend now because Robes Law Group personal injury lawyers. It's extremely helpful in case of an accident.
Is that
to have that?
What is that savings one of the insurance companies have? I don't know. Yeah, it's
Is this like your Shell P thing in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do better.
Yeah. So a reminder, Robes Law Group Shield. Get the app. Want to thank Biergarten and Boca Raton every Monday night, 6 o'clock, Monday Night Live here at Biergarten and Boca Raton. $3 brats. I am a huge fan of any tubed meat. These bratwursts are phenomenal here at Biergarten. $3 brats. First beer on me every Monday night here at Biergarten in Boca Raton. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back here on Monday. Don't forget day after on Sunday, Florida Atlantic Voice, and we'll talk to you Saturday night from Houston, Texas, where FAU takes on Rice and looks to get back in the win column. Remember, if FAU can stop the run, they have a phenomenal chance of winning that football game. For Damon Arnett, I'm Ken LaVicka. This has been the Florida Atlantic Voice presented by Robes Law Group. Good night, everybody.